Good day, viewers and listeners from anywhere you're watching or listening to this post. This is an unusual one for me because I usually record ParlourTalk at the end of the week. But the recent events has necessitate talking about this issue that's continued to go unabated in the last few days. Not necessarily the last few days. This is something that concerns Nigerians living in South Africa for over 5 years. In the last 3 years, over 120 Nigerians have been murdered in South Africa. 13 out of these people at least have been killed by South African police. So that said, it's high time we Nigerians take a stand and we say enough is enough. Not only for Nigerians living in South Africa, but Nigeria as a significant ally of South Africa in Africa and in the world at large. We've been friends and we've been ally of South Africa since the days of the apartheid, and we supported South Africa during the apartheid regime, even as much as granting Nigerian passport for many South Africans that were fighting apartheid to travel abroad when things were difficult in South Africa. It's shocking and surprising that Nigerians are now being victimized, killed mindlessly, their properties being destroyed in South Africa by South Africans, all in the name of the fact that South Africans aren't given a fair chance. I've seen various posts and videos, tweets on social media about South Africans trying to justify this mindless and senseless killings of Nigerians and some other Africans as well. Only a stupid person will think killing a fellow African solves the problem of South Africa or solve the problem of South Africans' unemployment and maybe underdevelopment of the black race in South Africa. The problem in South Africa is systemic and it's no fault of Nigeria. So it's quite stupid and myopic to be attacking Nigerians for the failings of either South African government or the system as a whole. Yeah, Nigeria too has its own insecurity challenges, but the continuous killing and destruction of properties of Nigerians unabated is about enough. It's about enough. A couple of days ago, we thought, okay, well, another one has happened. It's happened like it's been building up all year round. At least there have been in at least 5 different events this year. Nigerians have been killed. So now, although they said the events in the last 1 week has been linked to the fact that South Africans' transports industry there's industrial action or whatever you might want to call it. But that said, it's the same result for Nigerians living in South Africa. It's the same result we've been getting in the last 5 years, which is just mindless attack and killing. Just because South Africans feel they're not getting a fair chance or fair shake. I saw a video of a deputy, I don't know if it's a deputy commissioner of police or whatever, of South Africa, saying that in a particular town 80% of them are foreigners, and using something like that as a justification for attacking fellow Africans. That is stupid. You could talk about the fact, yeah, I got arguments as well that some people say that, well, there are criminal elements in the Nigerians living in South Africa. They are everywhere. Okay, what criminal elements are you talking about? Nigeria peddling drugs? Nigerians don't make cocaine. Nigerians don't make methamphetamine and all these drugs. Yeah, some Nigerians might peddle them, but they don't make them. So why are these attacks on Nigeria and Nigerians? That's not even xenophobia, if I might add. It's just mindless killings. If it's xenophobia, you'll be attacking all foreigners in South Africa. But I think picking on Nigeria has made Nigeria an easy picking, and it's high time the Nigerian government takes a stand on this and say, yeah, to hell, this has to stop. This is not a conversation. Yeah, I've seen the tweet of the president of Nigeria today, and I've watched the interview, the joint conference between the head of mission of South Africa and Nigeria and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, and that South Africa and Nigeria are working assiduously to stem this continuous violence. But I think this is an issue that it's not something we just leave with ministers. I think Ramaphosa and Buhari needs to get into a room and sort this out, because this can't continue. Nigerians can't continue to be killed every day and we just keep quiet or just moan on Twitter about it. The country, Nigerian government, needs to protect Nigerians more, inside and outside Nigeria. Yeah, we have a fair share of challenges in Nigeria, but why are people getting killed in South Africa, and why do we get to give them a pat on the back? South African companies are making good money in Nigeria. MTN last year made over 1 trillion naira in Nigeria. MultiChoice, DSTV, made over 130 billion naira in Nigeria. So yeah, they're making money in Nigeria. And I also understand that there's a memorandum of understanding on how to stop things like this happening that have been presented to the South African government, which they're taking way too long to either sign that memorandum or haven't really given a feedback on it. Yes, the head of mission today said that they're going to work assiduously to make sure that gets done as quickly as possible now. But I don't think it's enough to just sign document. I think there should be significant... I've not seen the memorandum of understanding that's to be signed, I must say. And I don't necessarily know all the content. But any memorandum of understanding signed that does not have significant consequence on South Africa, it's a non-issue. It's immaterial. It's not important. South Africans as a country need to understand that we can't just take beating everywhere. Yeah, we can't be we're even taking beating in Africa for our fellow African country. They need to know that there will be consequences for taking lives or destroying properties of Nigerians in South Africa, and that right has to be protected, not just by the constitution. The South African government needs to make extra effort to protect the lives of Nigerians in South Africa, and there should be economic sanctions against South Africa and South African companies if these mindless killings continue. Yeah, it could be, we could say criminal elements are the ones doing this. The government needs to make it a point of duty to make sure Nigerians aren't killed anymore. I mean South African government. And Nigeria government needs to put the pressure on South African government to make sure that this happens. These mindless killings cannot continue. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I've done. This mindless killing cannot continue, and I hope the powers that be take the bull by the horn. Yeah, we appreciate the fact that the Minister of Foreign Affairs they've swung into action today. The head of mission of South Africa has been invited. I believe President Muhammadu Buhari has is sending an envoy to South Africa to discuss this issue with the powers that be in South Africa. But I still believe ultimately this is a conversation between the two presidents, that we're fellow brothers. If Africans are killing Africans, who are we fooling? Yeah, and someone needs to drum it into the thick skull of those South Africans that are actually killing Nigerians, that this nonsense, I want to swear there, cannot continue. Can't continue to be killing Nigerians. Just take for a second. Think you're killing an American living in South Africa or killing a British living in South Africa, and you see what will happen. Let alone talking about the fact that in different incidents or on different occasions, over 100 Nigerians being killed. Yeah, what other serious-minded country in the world will take that? There are Moroccans living in South Africa. They're not getting killed. the Chinese people living in South Africa, they're not getting killed, and I dare them to try killing Chinese people and see what Chinese government will do. So, and there are hosts of foreign nationals living in South Africans that are not getting touched. Yeah, there's a clamor that South Africans, the black or the South Africans, the original South Africans, I might add, needs to gain more influence. They need to be more involved in the running of their country. But you've still got a black president. Yes, it might be that systemically blacks are still not in power, or the control or the influence is not enough. That is a problem that the people you put in power need to sort out. Yeah, that's the problem they need to sort out. It doesn't get solved by killing fellow Nigerians, because actually we're doing you a favor. We're doing you a lot of favor by actually living and working in South Africa. So rather than be at each other's throats, which we shouldn't be as fellow Africans, I think South Africans should collaborate more with Nigeria, as Nigeria have collaborated with South Africa in the last, since apartheid days, to make South Africa independent. South Africa, it's your time to show gratitude, and the only way to show gratitude is by not destroying the lives and properties of Nigeria living in South Africa. That's it.